So, babe.
Yeah, babe.
We talking about a parking spot today. It's the bane of my existence in LA.
Really? You can't find parking spaces?
Never. It is so hard to find parking in LA.
Yeah, for your Rolls Royce. Yeah. That's a big car.
I wish.
That's a big car.
It's the craziest thing in this city that it causes stress, and you have to like bank in time. You're like, oh, dinner's at 8:30. Well, we have to get there like a half an hour early to like circle.
Yeah.
If there's no valet.
Uber. That's why Uber is such an important. That's why I'm mad I never invested in it. It was never even brought to my attention. You know?
I know. I'm mad about it too. I know a lot of people that did invest in it.
I know.
They're living large.
They're like, man, I gave them $10,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did it turn into? 80 billion. Damn, you're rich.
That's right. I'm telling you. That was crazy. I know some early investors, and I'm like, low key, it's a really funny thing how that kind of like lands in your brain, because you go like, why didn't you tell me? Like they could see into the future.
Yeah.
Like they're investing in front of a bunch of other crazy stuff too that turned into nothing.
Exactly. And so they every once in a while they hit it, they straight
That's
go.
right. They play the numbers.
Oh boy, we love money.
Gather round. I like that. Yeah.
Yes. Mess around.
Mess around.
That. All night. Look at that.
They messing around. Anyway.
Here, but when I rewatched the episode, parking spot, part of my brain was like, is this just like very like LA centric, like this particular episode? Because I felt the stress of it. If there was one parking spot amongst all my roommates. But I'm like, does this translate to anywhere else in the world?
Yes.
That level of like, I need it.
It does. Because I can tell you, I just sold my house in Chicago. And I'm looking for a smaller place in the city, like an actual like heart of like in the West Loop area. I'm looking for a place, and I found this place that I really liked. Problem was, and it's a decent sized place. You know what I mean? It's 2 floors. It's got a great rooftop deck. It's an awesome place. 4 bedrooms, 1 parking space. It has a garage, but it only fits 1 car. And I sat there and I stared a hole through this realtor, and I said, man. 4 bedrooms. That means it's probably at least multiple adults living in here.
Sure.
Where am I supposed to park? And he's like, oh, well, some of these other houses right here, they rent out their garages.
Sure.
I'm like, so I'm going to go park my car in somebody else's garage.
Insane.
In what world am I doing that?
Yeah.
People are strange. Next thing you know, you got people doing all kinds of odd things on top of your car.
Sure.
Which is in this episode, there's a moment where Jess comes back and she sees outside Dave sleeping on her car.
Okay, break down the episode so we can get into it, man.
Okay.
Because it's already feeling heated.
I'm mad about this.
I'm mad about it, too.
After Schmidt discovers that the loft comes with a parking spot, an all-out war between the Loftmates ensues for who gets it. Manipulation, used hoodie strip teases, and a no-nail oath are just some of the tricks that are used. Meanwhile, Winston, who is all but ready to do sex things with Daisy, is sent on a side quest all over town to find a condom.
A condom. First of all, I will just like to say something that we used to say this all the time on New Girl, dumbest boy alive. Dumbest boy alive was something we said all the time. Schmidt, dumbest boy alive for telling anybody about the parking spot, which he realizes very quickly at the top of this episode.
He's like, why did I do that?
What are you doing?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Why?
Yeah.
So stupid.
Stupid, but he's honest.
Well, it's that thing. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission.
Yeah.
I feel like he missed that.
He did.
That Maya Angelou chapter of life.
He did. But also, this is silly. We've discussed this before in the past, how big and expensive this loft must be. You mean to tell me these ignorant ass people didn't say, hey, do we have a parking space?
No, they didn't.
Not
Have you watched the
once.
show? No, these characters that were not sitting there and asking. It does feel like something Schmidt would ask and Schmidt would know. I would not think that Nick or Jess or Winston, with how wild you are in the first like few seasons, are asking these questions. I would also say that most apartment buildings, they go street parking. It's just street parking is street parking.
What do you mean most apartment buildings? Hannah, you haven't lived in an apartment in decades.
I have. I've only lived in apartments, and it was street parking or like some weird, creepy. I lived in an apartment building where it was like a shed behind the house in an alley you had to park in.
Ooh.
And it was the creepiest walk of my life from the shed that I had to park in to my apartment door. I took my life in my hands every single time, I felt like.
I've never been in an apartment where they didn't have.
You've been to that apartment that I'm talking about when I lived on Sweetser.
Oh, Sweetser. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was this shed in the back through the courtyard.
However, parking spot nonetheless.
It was a huge battle that was actually in that little like Melrose Place style complex because everybody else, there was like 4 little sheds in the alley and it was 2 cars per shed. But my apartment just happened to be solo, which you would think, oh, that's amazing because you don't have to worry about somebody coming in and dinging your car or something because these sheds were super tiny, super tight like we see at the end of this episode. It was exactly like that. Except for as a girl that was living alone, every time that shed opened, it was also / a spot for someone who was unhoused to live.
Well, look, at least you got a roommate.
A car had a roommate. Sometimes
somebody got to keep it. Somebody got to protect it.
And it wasn't so bad coming into park because then you could like it would open, someone would run out. Okay, it was actually more stressful.
Hold on.
It was more.
Hold on.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Don't fast forward.
People would sleep in there.
Wait, you would open your shed and people would run out.
One person would run out who was sleeping there. And look, we had a deal. It was fine. I didn't mind. It was much more creepy, though, on New Girl when I was shooting and it was like a 4 a.m. call time. And now I have to go in the shed to get my car. That's worse. It was better to come home and the shed door opens and I'm like, I got to park here. And he's like, okay, peace, I'm out. And then, but me trying to like open the door to get in my car and be like, oh, I don't die today.
Making mistakes downtown.
What were you gonna? This is why I'm saying I felt the stress when I was watching this episode because I was like, man, a parking spot in a secured location. I would be sitting there peeing myself too.
All right, folks, let's go to break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk more about this episode.
Oh, not this. Look at that. Oh, not this. Look at that. Oh, not this. Look at that.
And we are back. Okay, so
Top of the episode
really
does not
quick.
start with the parking spot.
It doesn't start at the parking spot, but really quick, I just want to say, directed by Fred Goss and written by Rebecca Adelman.
Love Rebecca Adelman.
Right. So,
huge fan. Love Fred.
Yeah, love Fred.
Fred directed
is the
a bunch.
Silliest.
He is very silly.
He's also an actor. That's why.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what I mean?
great.
He's
He
a
gets it. He
comedic
loved
actor.
being on set shooting this show.
Yeah, really
we loved
funny
having
guy.
him.
Did we ever have him in any episodes?
No, I don't think so.
Which is so strange. He's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive right in.
Dive right in. So it starts off with Nick and Jess brushing their teeth side by side, and it's not weird. Is
Not
their
weird.
whole point. Here's the thing: if you've like broken the seal, like as friends, like you've kissed, you've made out, you're grown.
Yeah.
Is there always just going to be like that? Like that. What's that thing? Like the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Forever, right? Until you
Until you just go for it.
Right.
You either go for it or establish like aggressively that this ain't it.
But it's always going to be a little weird. They're just sitting there, and then he makes a joke about like we should just have sex.
Yeah.
Like he says it.
Yeah.
Big foreshadowing because
they-
it ends up they can't handle it.
Right. So I think ultimately he knows. They both do. They both know they want to be with each other, but Nick obviously can't express himself and he can't say what he wants. So he beats around the bush a lot, and she's just an awkward 13-year-old.
That's right.
Trapped in the 30s.
But there's a lot of lust.
Yeah.
It's very lusty.
Very, very lusty. Like me, I used to live with 3 women. I think we talked about this right before I booked New Girl. I lived in this townhouse. It was me and 3 women. Fucked them all. No, I'm kidding.
You did not.
I'm kidding.
You did not.
It was funny to say in the moment. I did not. I did not.
Tell the truth. Just like Schmidt with the parking spot.
I was.
No one was interested.
I was messing around with one of them, and she's a lovely young lady. We used
Yeah.
to. But the thing is, we dated prior. We had a whole New Girl situation going on. Her and I had dated prior.
Did it make it weird for everyone else?
No, not at all. It did when we were arguing.
That's what I'm saying. It did.
It did. We were
All of a
fighting.
sudden, they're with like an old married couple, and it was supposed to be just like 4 friends.
Yeah, but it was weird because I was the only man in there. You know, girl code, they always stuck together. So
Sure.
no one ever had my back.
You were the dumbest boy alive.
I'd be like, man, can you believe this shit? Can you believe she said this? And they'd be like,
yeah, we believe that she said it.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
like,
You're an idiot.
Who got my back in here?
No one.
Nobody. So I moved out. Seriously. I was like, peace, y'all. I booked new girl, and I was like,
This is what happened before I was in your life. To be like, listen, zip it up.
So,
Oh my gosh, the origin of the dumbest boy alive. I genuinely don't know, but we would just say it on set all the time. Dumbest boy alive.
Dumbest boy alive. We would say dumbest boy in school.
Dumbest boy in school.
Yeah, dumbest boy in school. And we would just say it. I don't remember who started.
I don't know if there's an origin story.
Yeah.
It just was said. There's a lot of inside jokes
Yeah.
that were on our show that I don't remember the origin for until Damon came along. The Damon kickstarted a lot of weird stuff.
But I think that was a Max thing. I think he...
That's right. You're the dumbest boy alive.
Dumbest boy in school. Like he would say that. And he would yell it.
Yeah. And then it just became part of the show.
Yeah. So
But it was said off camera a lot.
Oh, a lot. Oh, because we meant it. Yeah, mainly when talking about Jake. It's mainly.
That's true.
He couldn't operate a coffee machine once that was labeled.
Yeah.
Meaning it had in a white piece of paper latte, white piece of paper espresso, white piece of coffee, and then a glowing green button next to them.
Yeah.
You would put your cup down and you would
push the button.
press the button. Jake, one time I walk in there and he's making himself a coffee and he's like, hey, work this damn thing. Hey, fucking he's like mumbling to himself. I said, Jake, just press the button.
Read.
He was like, I am pressing the button. He's pressing the white label.
Yeah.
That's clearly a piece of paper. And he's like pressing it over and over again.
There's a line here where he talks about the Wi-Fi in this episode.
Yep.
And that was definitely pulled from real life because I'll never forget we were waiting for a setup of a scene or something was happening. We were all standing in the kitchen. We were all on our phones because that's what people do. We're all the cast are on their phones just doing our own thing. And Jake was just sitting there. Right? And I was like, oh, we were trying to Google something, some song lyric. I remember some weird song lyric. And he was talking about it and I was like, Google it. And he's like, I can't. I was like, what? He goes, well, my phone doesn't have Wi-Fi. And I was like, what? First of all, how are you pronouncing this word? Second of all, I remember being like, come here, Grandma.
Yeah.
And like took his phone, like swiped down, showed him how to do it, how to connect it. I was like, he thought that however long he'd had that phone, that it did not connect to the Wi-Fi.
So you know when you have your phone.
He's like, I didn't pay for it. And I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, oh, you know how Wi-Fi works.
It's the phone.
I didn't get that option. It's like, I didn't get the warranty on it.
He's like, it's data only. I was like, you can turn. Oh God. I was like, I don't even know what to do with you.
Do you know how? So here's your phone.
Yeah.
And when you want the screen to go black, either you have it on like automatic, like it shuts off after 60 seconds of inactivity. You can put it to it never shuts off, whatever the case may be. Jake, when we'd be filming, right before they call action, he would take the phone and always put it down like this. And he would always do that. And one day I asked him, he would do this all the time. This was going on for like months. And I said, why do you always set your phone down like this? Like when you, he's like, so I don't want the light to be flashing up, genius. And he's like telling me about lighting and shit. And I was just letting him talk. And I was like, yeah, you can just turn it off. He's like, oh, what? I'm going to go into my settings and then go down and like shut the phone off every time I want to have the screen go to black. I said, Jake, you just press this button. And he was like, what?
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
you've never pressed the button
Never
on
pressed
your
the button. No.
I said, how long have you had this phone? You've never
No.
pressed the button.
Yeah.
It's like, you fucking idiot.
I do think that there was something that happened when all of us came together in that show where really like it was the combination of all of us that gave like one solid brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like teaching people just basic things that seemed to make sense. We were all just like babies when we started the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there were certain things that were just like, and then I just never figured that out. But Jake's were the funniest because they were all about technology.
Oh,
that
100%.
seemed pretty straightforward.
100%. So him saying Wi-Fi in this, you're right. This is.
I just remember that moment of all of us sitting there waiting for like the scene to go or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not on this episode, a different thing. And I think there's so much of that in New Girl where they would steal moments from who we were as people.
Oh yeah.
And put it in the show because it was so funny to them and you couldn't make it up.
Right.
And Whiffy is one of them.
So, meanwhile, while Nick and Jess are in the bathroom,
Yes.
Schmidt crashes into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And like an idiot screams, he found a parking spot.
So, dumbest boy alive.
Dumbest boy alive.
Yeah.
And then he rips the top. First of all.
So strong.
But
But again, I understand it because of all of my parking spot trauma. I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, you have just found gold. You
Yeah.
have found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It exists. It's there.
But he rips the towel rack off the wall. He's so excited.
So strong.
So
strong.
He also used to do CrossFit, so he probably actually ripped that off the wall.
Yeah, he was very strong then.
Now, here's the thing. All the Loftmates, like, what's fair? They're all
What's
deciding
fair?
who
Jess
should
does
get the
say
spot.
sharing, which a lot of people in LA do.
Yeah.
They split a spot,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is kind of a nice feeling. And the boys immediately say no.
That's fair. But I think if I recall, maybe I'm wrong. Wasn't there a discussion about who was paying the most in rent? Because I know there's a big dog room. Season 1, we were talking about who gets the big room, the little room, the small room. You know, and so I was of the mindset that, you know, who's paying the most rent gets the parking spot. You know.
Oh, see, that they had the opposite. The person in the smallest room should get the spot.
Well, that must mean they're all paying the same amount of money in rent.
Yeah, that's right. So they're saying this makes sense.
Yeah.
What I thought was also funny is everybody tries to play the card: lady card, race card, lazy drunk card.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, no, it doesn't matter. We all have a card. We don't get to play the card.
That's true. That's true. Just putting it out there. I think Jess should have got the spot.
I mean, the fact
This
that
is kind of
she's
obvious.
a girl
Yeah.
and a parking spot, I was just like, this makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the boys didn't think like that.
They didn't think that way.
Makes it very funny.
And she says, obviously, share. Who did anybody else come up with a suggestion? I know Nick said he's out. He backed out.
It was one of my favorite moments because I truly feel of all the characters I genuinely relate to the most, it is Nick Miller, like for myself. And when Schmidt and Jess like just kind of like stare him down because he has to plead his case.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't care that much.
Right.
I don't care about anything that much to get as weird as you all are about to get. And he just bails and they're like, but then he becomes the decider, unfortunately, for him. But I could relate to that moment to be like, oh, I don't have a competitive bone in my body. You two are so competitive.
Yeah.
I'm instantly out because I'll never go the distance with you two.
And I honestly wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't give a shit.
Okay, your storyline in this is wild.
It's not that wild.
I feel like it's a little wild that you just go like, I'm out of the conversation. I don't care about this parking spot. I have a sex window. It's the only thing that matters. You race over there. Winston races over there without the one thing that he would need.
No, he has the one thing that he needs, his penis. But because that's why people forget. People forget. Condoms, new. Penises, old. It's you know what I mean? If you went over there with a condom and no penis, then what are you gonna do?
I'm just
Blow
saying,
it up
I
and
feel
make a
like the two
fucking
go hand in
balloon
hand.
animal, and
If you ain't trying to make a baby, the two should go hand in hand. You should have that condom with you.
pull out method strong, but not that strong. Pull out game, aggressive. No, you're right. You're 100% right. But in my mind, I'm in TV land.
Yes.
It's rare that we see people break out a condom.
That's true.
They just go for it.
Yes, in network comedy especially. They're not sitting there being like, and
Let me tell you exactly.
it's an after-school special.
It's so weird because and this is how I know racism is alive and well. In the movies, when white people be kissing and having sex, they just go for it. They slam up against the wall. We talked about this.
Yes, the violence.
They move stuff out of the way and then they just go for it. And everything's
Breaking
all
tables.
good. Yeah, black and Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like, make sure you get them condoms. we don't need y'all procreating.
Yeah.
I hope that's not what the new girl writers were trying.
I don't think so.
No, but yes. So he had to go to this place to go do the thing.
Yes.
And fun fact about that scene, I still have those underwear that Winston was wearing.
What underwear?
The ones that he was wearing.
I didn't notice. I honestly, the only thing I remember you wearing are the the pink yum pants.
But the pink yum pants were Daisy's.
Yes, I know.
How did he get them on?
I just don't.
He took his clothes off.
I saw Brenda in her bra and underwear.
Yeah.
It was actually a very cute matching set. It looked amazing. I don't remember you in it. Wasn't looking.
Yeah,
Why would you out of all the things to keep, you kept?
No, because when you get to work,
yes.
they make, if you have a scene, you can't wear your own underwear because they want to make sure you have to wear all the padding and stuff underneath.
What padding underneath?
It's padding to protect the audience from seeing, all that print.
The print of what?
That ham sandwich.
Oh,
that
I can't right now with the ham sandwich.
That bratwurst.
You
can't
there's
see.
special show underwear that's padded to Ken doll you?
Yes. Every time you see someone on TV with underwear on, majority of the time they Ken doll you because they don't want the audience to have that visual of your goodies.
I genuinely did not know
You didn't know that?
No, I mean, I wore my bra and underwear several times on New Girl, and they would just bring in like a cute pair of bra and underwear from like a store.
When you wear a bra, do you put pasties on underneath the bra?
No.
You wear pasties underneath it. So what if it's lace? You just walked around nippled out on Fox.
They just had a bra that would not have you nipple. What kind of there's no sexy lingerie like that.
Nippled out.
What are you in mesh underpants that they had to pad you out? Why would they just get you normal male underwear?
Because then they're going to see all that snake outline.
What? How thick is this padding?
No, how thick is that
tight?
Outline is what you need to be asking.
No, I'm genuinely asking. Like, so is the whole underwear padded and thick?
It's like a flesh colored, thick kind of like underwear, but they have a drawstring, so you tighten it. So if you, sorry for the visual, but if you're like this, they want you to curl it under.
It's a tuck.
It's a tuck. You got to tuck it.
So Ken doll is like an accurate way to describe what happens.
Yes.
Then you put underwear on top.
Then you put underwear on top of that.
So which one did you steal? The Ken doll underwear or just this regular pair of underpants that go on top?
The ones that go on top. I wouldn't steal the Ken doll stuff.
But then the regular underpants, don't you just have regular underpants?
They don't. It's for TV purposes. They don't let you.
No, but I'm saying, why would you steal just a regular pair of underwear you're putting on top of your Ken doll underwear?
Because when I was leaving, they're like, we can't use these anyway. So I just kept them.
But were they special?
No, I just kept them. I haven't worn them, but I have them because I'm packing. And I saw them and I was like, oh, this is the same junk from...
Are they just like black underwear?
No.
How do you tell them from all your other underwear?
Because there's something I wouldn't wear. They're blue with white stripes on it. Like with white piping, I should say.
Got it. Okay. I never noticed. I didn't look.
Anna, stop. Everybody looked.
I did not look.
The people were intrigued. The minds were curious.
I don't think so. I'm really shocked. If you're listening to this episode and you knew what Lamorne was talking about, you knew he was talking about blue underpants with white piping.
Yeah.
It's just you and Lamorne.
No,
I feel like y'all are alone on this.
No, everybody knew. It's not a big deal. All
right, fine. Okay, well,
I learned
something.
Deal.
I really did not know that that's what they did.
It's all right.
I don't know how many years I've done television. I did not know that you guys had Ken doll tuck pants.
Yeah, and I know women have modesty patches.
Who what?
Modesty. You don't know what modesty patches are?
No.
Hannah, they ain't. Hannah, first of all, let's just break this down for a second.
Nobody wants to see my body on TV. That's why.
You don't need modesty patches for network TV because we're not showing that type of stuff.
That's what I do. I do network TV.
Right. So a modesty patch is when
By the way, this sounds so puritanical. The modesty patch. What is it?
Here's what a modesty patch is.
Okay.
If you're doing a sex scene, right?
I'm already out.
And they show like the woman's body, the lower half.
Yeah.
They have a patch that's flesh colored. It's like sticky tape that covers the.
Have you done a sex scene?
Yeah.
On what?
My camera phone.
Lamorne?
Baby, put this modesty patch on first. We don't want.
No one will be able to tell. I can't pick it out of a lineup.
No, I have.
What?
I did it in Woke. I did a sex scene. And she had to wear a modesty patch. It was weird. It was like, all right, I'm wearing, like, I have to wear a sock.
I am not mature enough for any of this. If someone was like, put this modesty patch on, I'd be like, I gotta call a lawyer.
You know who didn't wear a modesty patch? Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. Whew, they were doing it to each other.
Really?
Yeah, but we can move on.
Good God.
We digress.
This just feels like a real. We should have. I want to get like someone from our incredible wardrobe department to come in here and talk to us about this whole situation. I really did not know.
Yeah.
It feels like on network TV too. It's like such a crazy thing to do because you don't really see anything or do anything. Like it's a pretty protected like type of television.
You can't walk around. If you walking around with a hammer and we ain't filming Thor, they got to cover that up. They got to cover that up. You can't just walk around swinging like that.
Okay, so you kept the underpants.
I kept the underpants.
Good to know.
So I still have them. For any fans that I'll auction those, I'll sign those and auction those off. Pretty weird.
What a pair. I guess they technically never touched anything.
No, they touched the outside of a modesty patch.
Wild.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So now Jess, she
I think we had to go to break. I need a second to process.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't realize all those years that you guys were all tucked in.
Yeah.
Wearing nudie little underwear.
Yeah.
That's padded.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to break. Oh, not look at that. Oh, not look at that. Oh, not look at that.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, Hannah's confused about male anatomy. Weird. It's very, very weird. But she is confused.
I just learned something about a wardrobe department that I had no idea about. Okay.
So let's just cap that off with the fact that he couldn't find a condom. He ran through the city. He tried to buy one. He realized he didn't have his pants on, so he didn't have his wallet, didn't have his phone, so he couldn't call Daisy.
If you were at a pharmacy and there was a guy wearing girls' sweatpants and stood up and was like, I just need a condom, would you just buy him a pack of condoms?
I would buy him a pack of condoms.
I would actually too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, I ain't shaming you. You trying to do the right thing here. I'd be like, I just put it on my belt. Give that guy that condom and get him out of here.
Give that man a condom.
I would do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Same thing too. I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I thought that pharmacist guy was being all little crazy.
He was a bit aggressive.
Didn't like that.
Not at all.
Didn't like that choice.
Okay, so then Jess, she walks into Nick's room in his hoodie, being all sexual. She's eating the drawstring and she says it's crunchy.
Why is that? Why is that so like such a universal sexy thing? She had like the tousled hair. She had just like the hoodie on. She had one shoulder out. And I feel like any human being watching it was just like, this is sexy. But it's like a hoodie.
No, I don't think that's universally sexy.
You did not find that like a little titillating?
No.
Really?
No.
Are you wearing the padded pants right now?
That's when my legs are crossed.
Yeah,
That scene was exciting for me. No.
I was like, why is that so universal when like a girl like puts on like her boyfriend's like sweatshirt or the thing? It's like,
See, I wouldn't want my
sexy.
girlfriend wearing my hoodie because then she'd probably smell the other woman's perfume.
Oh, for goodness sakes!
I don't be cheating. I don't. I just, again, you set it up. But I think part of it is also that we all know there's nothing underneath that hoodie. So that's why it's sexy. That's why it's sexy.
Right.
She could be wearing
the bare shoulder. There's no bra strap. You're going like, all right. So she's trying to use her womanly wily ways.
She could be wearing a little
to get
chest protector.
The spot.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Doesn't matter. Got it.
No.
Heard.
That's why the apron with nothing underneath is because you're like, oh, ain't nothing underneath that.
Well, that's like you can see that nothing's underneath it. It's just an apron. Well, and she's looking at a naked lady with like a napkin on.
Yeah. But ain't nothing underneath that napkin.
Okay.
Unless she's wearing a modesty patch. And
we're going to have to change this episode from parking spot to modesty patch. Oh, my stomach hurts from laughing.
Okay. So there's a lot of bribery going on.
Yeah, they're all. Well, the part that was also so funny, she comes in the hoodie, she's being a little flirty, and he's like, all right, you have the spot, whatever. Then he goes in for a hug, and then her response, because she's trying to like still resist temptation. She's still trying to make sure this is only says it a kiss. We're not battling. Is she purple nurples him?
She does.
Hard. Brings him to his knees.
Yeah.
Have you ever been purple nurpled?
Yeah.
Really?
What? Oh my God. Yeah. People think it's funny. I go, that's not funny.
No, it doesn't feel funny to me.
Yeah, that's like
I've never
flicking
purple
somebody in
nurpled
the-
anybody.
I would hope not.
Like even like young, but you're saying it's happened. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah. Guys do it to other guys because they think it's funny. Guys also used to just like pop you in the balls because they think it's funny. I'm like, man, you might stop me from having children, brother. That's not hilarious.
Pop you in the balls.
Just a straight up ball tap.
You should have you stole the wrong underwear.
Yeah, I
If
know.
you had the padded underwear, you'd be ready for any pop.
I know. It's like, I should. I mean, for me, I also took those too, to be honest with you. But no, I didn't. No, but that happens. That's a real thing. So purple nurples, ball taps. Sometimes you take an electrode and anyway.
So they have this purple nurple moment. They come out and then Schmidt identifies because he did not know about the kiss.
Right.
And now he
sniffs it.
out.
He's so far that when he looks at him, he goes, it smells like freaking Tijuana in here.
I feel like it's funny. I've seen that like as a meme, and I never understood where it was from or what it was about. It's so true when you could all of a sudden like recognize sexual tension.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, what
Y'all did it.
happened?
Y'all did
Something happened. The air smells different.
100%. And then Jess admits to Schmidt that she and Nick, they kissed. Right? Hey, folks, we're going to go to break. But when we come back, Hannah has some explaining to do from something very, very important that we all
Oh, not look at that. Oh, not look at that. Oh, not look at that.
And we are back. Hannah, I'm looking at your face right now and you look guilty.
You know what? It's funny. So I was talking to my beloved Wendy Heisler, who also works on this podcast. I love her so much. And we were talking about season 2 of New Girl. And we were saying these were her words. She was like, it's a perfect season of television. And I was like, man, I forgot until I rewatched that this is really like hit after hit with every episode. I'm like, this is an incredible season we did. Except in one department. And I feel like they were so good on making sure like the storylines were tight and that it was so funny and the jokes were hitting and all this stuff that they didn't remember to always put the bear in a place that I could easily find it for future me in this podcast. So this episode,
Blame the damn
it's just
creators.
Do you see why I have to do that whole preamble? So in this episode for the Where's the Bear, it's just on the fridge, and we do see it on the fridge. And I know we've talked about the fridge a lot. I'm just saying season 2, it's a bit harder.
Did you find a bear in the next episode we're doing?
I did.
Okay, good, because that was an easy one. So we're going to talk about it.
That makes me really happy, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're just a Where's the Bear fan, then just skip the rest of this episode, go to the next.
Go to First Date. Because on First Date, it's great.
Okay, so you didn't find the bear, yet again letting down millions of fans. And not
But they're still on my side.
Sure, if you think so.
Believers.
If you think so.
Okay, so back to the parking spot. So now they're in a race, right? Because all of a sudden, Nick says, I don't want to be the decider anymore. I don't want to be the suggester anymore. It's too much pressure. He wants the spot. He's being manipulated back and forth. He cannot take the pressure. Now he wants it. And so now it's a mad dash. Whoever is in the spot first gets the spot.
Right.
And it's one of the funniest things in the world to watch them scatter like roaches.
Oh, yeah.
And they just start running through the city. And the way that Jake throws the money at the kids.
Yes.
I was like, all of that is just Jake handling this scene, because it probably just said he went and got the, pulled it off, tried to get the car, but it's him screaming, the car won't start, and doing I was in tears.
Well, I find another cool thing about it was it showcased personality with car, meaning, yes, of course, Nick's car is covered in cardboard boxes.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, Jess's car is covered in cats.
That's right.
And of course, she stops to take a picture of it in the middle of her mad dash, of trying to find this parking spot.
We have to talk about something right before they scatter like roaches, because it's one of the most iconic New Girl moments, and I forgot it fully existed, and I was laughing, which is when he is like leaving the apartment because the tension is too high. Right before he says, I'm taking the spot, is they have a weird off.
Yes.
Weird off at
weird
the
off.
elevator also had me in tears. Because again, that was just the genius of those two actors bouncing off of each other back and forth and committing to their weirdness. And I loved it so much because it's the stuff you can't write.
Right.
It's just like, they get weird.
Yeah.
And they say weirder, 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 weirder. And they could have done anything. And somehow what they did is like the oddest choice. Like you would think they would have used their bodies or the space more. And instead it's just
Face stuff and hands.
It's just weird face stuff and like broken wrist stuff.
You could tell that was Liz Merriweather, though. I feel like she was probably like,
got tighter and
no,
smaller.
Go weirder. No, can you do something like, I don't know. She probably did one of those things, and then they were like, I guess you want some face stuff.
Yeah, well, it makes sense though, because that's how it plays in like a network comedy. You're in that tight shot usually most of the time, so it was a smart thing to do to keep it like that. I wasn't there that day, but I wonder how far it went and how many alternate versions of weird they were asked to do. Because this was season 2, we got asked to do alternate versions of everything. All the time.
Yeah. There's probably some less weird. In fact, when we have these rap parties, they'll show the blooper reels, and I feel like some of these blooper reels. They exist. They exist on the DVDs.
Season 2 definitely has a blooper reel. I feel like that's out.
I'm curious to see if it's on there.
If there's more extra weird stuff in there. Mostly as I was just breaking and laughing, I feel like.
Now, Cece, she thanks Siobhan for giving her a second chance and saying her friends really aren't that bad. And this is when we discover Winston is still on the prowl for his condom. Because he comes banging on the door aggressively.
It's one of my favorite moments because it was also one of those things that was so true to life is that you and I had not spent on camera barely any time together.
Yeah.
And so when you bust in... looking for the condom, I think my character says it's like, we don't know each other that well. I've met you 2 times. How do you know where I live? This is problematic. And the fact that it's spoken out loud makes me laugh so hard. Because the first thing when I see you bust in, I was sitting there as a fan watching the show going, how would he even know where she lives? Why would he even try?
He's a future detective.
It was so funny that they had Cece say it out loud. And then Winston asked to borrow a condom.
He's like, I know you got one.
But he says he does have in his wallet.
He has one.
He doesn't hand it over.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like so weird.
No, it was Cece it was dismissing Winston. Like you kept telling him to get out.
That's right. He should have gone. But then you asked the question. He said, I do have one. And then you say like, so you're going to have to use it tonight? And I was like, you're wild. This also felt like a very like blurred lines between a Winston Lamorne moment. Because I could see you being like, okay, I'm wrong. I shouldn't be here. I get it.
Yeah.
But also quick.
You want to use that thing?
It's like, let me ask her because I respect women. Is he going to have to use it? But so wildly crazy. So funny.
Okay.
There's a standoff now back at the parking spot. Oh my gosh. And they talk about the no nail oath.
Ooh, yeah, that was aggressive, which is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's not. I feel like when people live together, you do have a responsibility to keep it civil.
But isn't it usually unsaid and definitely unwritten?
No, I think. No, written is one thing. I don't think this because they've written down a bunch of other things as well. But you have to say it at least. It has to be addressed. Like, listen, we want to live peacefully. Please, if you're gonna do it, go. I don't know. It's one of those things where you don't want to screw up the dynamic of the place you live.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
the no nail oath. So wildly offensive.
Yeah.
And I loved the choices that Zoe made in her reactions because it was completely spot on.
Yeah.
Like,
but what was funny about it was that even after she was so offended by this no nail oath, which in theory is a great idea, but you're very offensive. But they then go, well, we have to kiss, and she's like, all right.
The episode.
I was like, wait, you're offended by guys saying you can't have sex with this person, but not offended by this man saying, now you have to kiss me?
I think honestly at that point, it's just anything that she can do to make it less weird because she's so wildly attracted to Nick Miller and she doesn't know what to do about it and she needs it to end. And I know she's definitely not in her right mind when she's doing it, but it's just like such a funny moment to be like, maybe if this happens, and then we'll all just be able to move on. I kind of get it. And she knows that she's got, like, nothing's going to come from that.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know.
When they're doing, by the way, I just want to talk about the standoff in that parking spot. It made me laugh so hard, and something I've never forgotten about. I didn't really remember this episode so strongly, but I remember that thing because we've all had that feeling in life where Schmidt has to pee so badly that he then pees inside his
himself.
body.
Yes.
Like just like toxic poisoning of urine within his body. And I remember being like, is that a thing? Could that really happen?
Yeah,
could
you could
just
pee inside
release
yourself.
it internally?
You can pee inside yourself.
There's no way.
Well, I could break down the mechanics, but it'll be gross and disgusting, and we'll have to cut it.
Yeah.
I could break it down for you guys if you want me to.
Inside your body. And then he just literally pees himself.
Then he literally pees himself. It just, at that point.
At that point, I can't believe everybody didn't just go like, give him the spot.
At that point, I couldn't understand why he doesn't realize he's in a parking lot. Just pee on the ground.
Yeah, pee anywhere.
Well, I'm really confused. I was so confused by that. Like
But it is Schmidt. He's very particular.
Outside. Yeah, he'd rather piss his own pants.
I guess it just happened. But the way he's sitting too, all like curled up and crouched up so you couldn't see it.
My favorite is when Nick he found a piece of paper. He goes, look, it's got chocolate on it. And he starts licking the chocolate like a child.
Off a dirty wrapper.
Off a dirty wrapper. I've had to stop my 3-year-old from doing that once upon a time.
Yeah, well, there's a lot about Nick Miller that feels like a 3-year-old sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. The most mature person in that loft was Winston. Okay, so...
Oh, and then Nick says that he regrets the kiss. And that's when she's like, I'm out, I'm leaving. Then he's like, I'm out, I'm leaving, right? And then Schmidt's down there, right? And he's like, you better go after her and fix it because that was like a hurtful thing to say.
Yeah, pretty hurtful.
Yeah.
What I found about his pants, though, when he did... I know we're going backwards.
Yeah.
They didn't dress his pants right.
I noticed that too when they were upstairs.
This was in one little circle.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
it didn't make sense.
What happened? I was like, no.
Also, if you had to pee that bad.
Also, if the circle's down here, that means
he wasn't wearing the modesty pants.
I mean, that boy. Oh, that boy. Got that. Ooh wee. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying super clearly.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it was more just like they put the water in the wrong spot. I'm just saying, and they did it like in a terrible way. Nobody knows what's really going on down there because all of you guys were zipped up and tucked up and padded up, so no one knows.
But here's what I mean about how you pee inside of yourself. Now we know because now we know he go down that way. So pee inside yourself. When you tuck it.
Okay.
You just put it up there.
All right.
Then you pee inside.
I feel like doctors are going to call us. We have doctors in the DM being like, please don't say those things. They're not true. Nothing's happening within your body. You would go to the hospital.
I digress.
Oh, yeah. Then Winston walks back in the loft.
Yeah. And he's pissed off. He's letting the whole group know, you know, today has been a day. It's been a day. And he needs a W. He needs a win. And, because everybody's having sex around here. But he walked in and he saw Jess and Schmidt kissing. He's like, damn, everybody's
got it going on.
He's like, except for me. And so I need a win. And they agree.
And the most classic LA thing happens where he gets the spot, but all those spots are so sardined together that you are now trapped.
You're trapped. And he can't get out.
I know friends who've had parking spots like at their apartments and you have to like climb out the trunk. Because it's tight. Because you don't know what car your neighbor has next to you, and if it's too big, then that's what the deal is. You got to climb out the trunk.
I don't want to park that bad. I don't want to park that bad.
What happened to Winston?
But now
so you won, but did you?
But now here's the thing with these Teslas. If your car is boxed in, you can hit a button. Not even Teslas, any car now.
Yeah.
I feel like you can hit a button, it'll back the car out for you.
Oh, and then repark it?
No, it'll back it out for you so you can get in and out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So you could like, if you know you're not gonna be able to get out, you hit the button, it'll put itself in the spot for you.
My car is not that fancy. I did not know that was.
Rolls Royces have this feature.
I have a boy's choice, not a Rolls Royce.
Boy's choice?
It's a bicycle. I just have a little bicycle I ride around town. I call it the boy's choice. Leave me alone. Somebody give me a car.
Oh yeah, this podcast is sponsored by Lamborghini of Beverly Hills.
Oh wait, there's this moment that happened. We missed the moment. Oh my gosh, I even written here because I freaked out about it. Is the right before like Schmidt's character busts in. And Jess is carrying the fish sticks.
Yeah.
And they're about to get after it. You think, oh my God, it's happening now. They tried to fight this whole episode from that toothbrush moment. It's about to happen. And she drops the box and he goes, "You dropped your fish sticks." And all it reminded me of is in Dirty Dancing, one of my favorite movies, there's the I carried a watermelon moment. This iconic moment of being like awkward and like you just can't resist this incredible thing and person in front of you and you don't know what to do, so you're doing something weird with a thing and this fish sticks moment. But that's in the pilot of New Girl. And I was like, holy smokes, it's like a second Bear. Dirty Dancing references. And I feel like the fish sticks and the watermelon thing, they live in the same world.
Well, we're going to have another segment called Where's the Dirty Dancing reference? Hannah, these aren't real
the Swayze
theories.
Spot.
These aren't real theories, Hannah.
It's just I'm a fan of this show that we are rewatching. I just happen to have also been on it. And I'm telling you, there seems to be a tie-in between that moment and the dropping the fish sticks and then the tension that felt very Dirty Dancing, just in the pilot of New Girl. I'm just putting it out there. If you agree with me, say it loudly. Thank you so much.
There's going to be 6 people.
Also, remember, they did say this very loudly during the episode, is bitches be crazy.
Yeah.
And I would like to say when it comes to this moment, I might be a little crazy on it, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, they were talking about you, Hannah.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Let's go to break. And when we come back, I feel like we should probably mess around.
Come on. Oh, not this. Look at that. Oh, not this. Look at that. Oh, not this. Look at that.
And we are back.
We're back.
Hannah, I learned a lot about you today. I learned that you don't know shit about male anatomy.
I didn't know anything about the Ken dolling of male actors for network comedies.
That's right.
I definitely need to see what these underpants look like.
No, I would say I'll send you pictures, but then that's sexting.
You could send me any sort of crazy illicit thing, and it would still never between us be considered sexting. I would just be like, a child got hold of his phone. There's nothing that would ever read to me that way. You could send me a picture of these underpants.
I'm gonna post the underpants online. They're in my room. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna put it on IG and just see if any fans identify with it. Yeah. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna say, if you know, you know.
That's right.
And then we'll see what they say.
We'll see what they say.
We'll see. They won't. All right, Hannah, let's mess around a little bit.
Let's go.
Babe.
Yeah, babe.
Have you had the parking spot argument with a roommate before? Because I know you talked about how you had your own situation going on.
The only time I've had like a parking spot situation, and it wasn't an argument, I guess. There was just somebody that shared the shed with my car.
Hey, man, leave.
There was the shed door would open. He would leave. No. There was no conversation. We never spoke.
Oh, man.
We were ships passing in the night.
That could have been your future husband.
How did you meet? Well, funny story.
I've never had that argument with anyone because all the apartments that I lived in had assigned parking.
Right. Well, technically, so did I.
Yeah. So I've never, but
he just self-assigned.
No, my hands had gates.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fancy.
No, I wasn't. This is when I was struggling. The apartments happened to have a parking spot. And then
did you ever have to do tandem? That was the nightmare.
No.
To get into a tandem parking spot situation. Because then it's like, someone come down, back the car. You got to go. You're going to get your...
Did I have to do that?
It's so annoying.
I don't think I ever had to do that. I've had, you know what I have had to do? Once I bought a house, my garage was half filled with storage stuff, and
Junk.
then it would be a 2-car garage, but only space for my car.
Correct.
But then my brother lived together. He would park behind me, so there are times where he would come home after me and park behind me, and then I can't get out. So I have to, hey, can you come move your car?
That's what I'm talking about. It's so annoying, the moving of the cars.
Yeah.
Or then you have to move the car and then get your car out and then repark their car again.
Yeah. That I've had to do that before.
First world problems. Okay.
Does Schmidt's logic of him having to kiss Jess make any sense?
No, but I think they also feel like they have run out of road in resisting each other. And he's like, I don't want this living situation to get super weird. And so they're just trying anything. So I can see how in the situation to be like, fine. I'm surprised because it's the New Girl universe that they didn't make it weirder and then go, well, now that Schmidt would say, Nick,
Yeah. No,
you and I.
Yeah, now we have
And
to
that was
do
the
it.
real thing. I was just surprised it didn't have that extra level of Nick then being like, I'm not going to kiss you, man.
Yeah. That's when you say that out loud, it feels like it's something that was actually shot. Or at least Max threw that out there and they just didn't use it.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I think that would have happened.
You'd be like, no nail oath. You have to kiss me. You'd be like, what are we talking about now?
No one's nailing my mouth.
That's right.
God, that was funny. Okay, yeah, for me, I don't think it makes any sense. I don't think it makes any sense.
But I can see how when you're desperate, just like you suggest a weird thing. Mm-hmm. We've all done that thing. We're like, why did I do that?
Why did I? Because isn't that the second time Schmidt tried to kiss her on the first season, right?
Yeah.
On 29.
And the
story of the 50.
Yeah, when they had the birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're out there, I feel like Schmidt was trying to get it in with Jess this whole time. Sorry, but you were a
when we do the reunion.
Yes.
The world is a disaster.
Okay, so Winston goes on a mission to find a condom. You got any funny condom stories that you can share?
I don't have any funny condom stories.
Because you don't wear them, Hannah.
Yeah.
She's like, what is that?
They don't fit. I feel like you have funny condom stories.
Yeah, I have a child.
Oh.
So how do you think she got here? You know what I'm saying? Whoop, what condom? Let's see. Funny condom stories. I want to share a funny condom story by a friend of mine, but I think he can't. No, I'm not going to share that one. I don't know if I have any funny condom stories because honestly, safe sex is a real thing and it's a non-laughing matter. So if you are out there, you or anyone you know are struggling to find a condom, please, there are resources in whatever city you're in that'll help you find
Reach
protection.
Pastor Morris.
The more you know. Or you can just throw some hand sanitizer on that thing.
Or a baseball hat. What was the suggestions he made? He made some wild suggestions. Just a desperate man. A wrap it in saran wrap.
Yeah.
The woman be sitting there like,
plastic
no.
bag. The plastic bag.
Get out of here. A plastic bag.
I had a friend of mine told me when he lost his virginity, he was so dumb. He didn't have a condom, so he put on a grocery bag.
How? What?
He put that's what he said.
And
he had sex. And the girl's like, is this going to protect me? He was like, yeah.
Why? This is why. This is why sex ed needs to exist in the school system. What?
Yeah, he said he was in 8th grade and wore a grocery bag.
Sir?
Listen, sex education is real, y'all. We got to keep that back. Get that back in the schools. Did they take that out of the schools?
I don't know, but it feels like there should be more of it.
Well, well, folks, that was a great show. Thank you for listening. Parking spot. Yes, indeed. Please follow us on Instagram, the Mess Around Pod.
Yeah.
Go out there and get some merch. Get a coffee
cute
mug.
Merch.
Yeah, get a coffee mug.
It's very cozy. This sweater, I feel like I'm wearing like a little blankie. It's all cozy inside.
An idea.
What?
Because I'm a genius. It just went off in my head.
What?
The Mess Around condoms. Boom, boom. Somebody call Trojan. Call who you gotta call. Oh, that's gonna be so dope.
I cannot right now.
It's gonna be so dope. The Mess Around condoms.
Also, I feel like if somebody pulled out a condom and it said the word mess around on it, I'd be like, I don't feel like this should be the most trusted situation.
No, they're not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be very
you
porous condoms, where like a novelty.
Buy our condom.
Yeah, it's gonna look like
you
Swiss
love
cheese.
Children. Yeah. I got a present for you.
Yes, Swiss cheese condoms. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We're gonna work on the branding.
Let's make that happen. If you're a condom manufacturer out there, listen, this is a big podcast, man. Yeah, go ahead and help us out here.
We're gonna see you next week. 10-finities. And it will not be about modesty underpants or tin-made condoms.
No, which you can buy at our merch site right now. The Mess Around condoms. We got lambskin, sheepskin, no skin. You know what I'm saying? Hey. That was The Mess Around. This has been an iHeartMedia production. Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our engineer and editor is Mia Taylor. Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson. So we're going to catch you next time. Bye.